Hello there, and welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Chuck Todd. So, we are 6 days left now until Election Day. President Biden will once again try to sharpen his message to voters. He's speaking near Capitol Hill tonight about the threats facing democracy in these midterms. Sources tell NBC News that the issue has been on the president's mind in recent days as a growing number of Republicans suggest they may not accept the results of next week's election unless they win. But while that issue may be weighing heavily on the president's mind, it's not necessarily weighing heavily on voters' minds, or at least not enough voters' minds. They are clearly signaling that the economy is the more important issue when it comes to their vote. And this afternoon, we got a loud reminder of economic anxiety in America as the Federal Reserve announced another interest rate hike. It was expected, but this is the sixth one this year alone, as the Fed tries to slow down the worst inflation this country's dealt with in 4 decades. Also, trying to do it without tipping the U.S. into a recession. At a press conference this afternoon, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, warned that we should expect additional rate hikes in the coming months, saying we still have some ways to go. Within the last hour, President Biden addressed the current state of the economy and rising inflation while speaking at the White House.
The country's been through a tough 4 or 5 years, and folks are still hurting. Granted that we inherited a 6.5% unemployment rate, it's down to 3.5%, but guess what? Inflation is still hurting people. But we're making real progress. We're reasserting ourselves as a nation. That's why I'm going to look out at everyone here and across the country. I'm more optimistic about the future than I ever have been.
Of course, the biggest question mark with less than a week to go is how much the issue of the economy is going to sway undecided voters over other issues like abortion rights or the democracy. So to help answer that question, I want to show you some new analysis from our NBC News poll and our polling team. And if you look at who the undecided voters are, and this is, so what we've done is over the last year, we've had 5 or 6 polls where we put all the undecided vote together so that we had a larger sample to figure out who is the undecided vote. Do they look like potential Democrats or do they look like potential Republicans? Well, let me show you right now why Republicans are so bullish on their chances next week. Because the undecided vote looks a lot more Republican than Democrat. So of these undecided voters, a plurality classify themselves as poor or working class. If you're overall, a plurality of folks classify themselves as middle class. But among this undecided group, these are paycheck to paycheck voters, working class. And if you want an idea, the white working class vote right now is breaking towards the Republicans by 22 points. This is an all-white working class. But among the white working class, that's a 22-point advantage for Republicans. Also in this undecided group, 70% of these undecideds do not have a college degree. Guess what? Republicans have an advantage among those voters anywhere from 7 to 9 points. And this won't surprise you, considering the state of the economy. 55% of these undecided voters disapprove of the job President Biden is doing. And ultimately, we're starting to see this. You know, in the pre-Trump era, presidential job approval was everything when it came to the midterms. And it's looking now like, at least for these midterms, that voters, they're not considering Trump right now in their conversation. They're just thinking about party in power, state of the economy. Who else are they going to take their anger out on? Right now, it appears to be the Democrats.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.